The silence didn't last long. Out of nowhere, Toyota shattered the calm with a thunderous announcement. An electric vehicle so advanced, so aggressively priced, it felt like science fiction crashing into reality. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. And that statement sent tremors all the way to Elon Musk's desk. Minutes after the reveal, the Tesla Titan broke his silence online, his posts laced with tension, disbelief, and unfiltered frustration. Something about this launch had struck a nerve. For years, Tesla stood unchallenged at the peak of EV innovation. But now, a new force has entered the arena, and it isn't playing by the old rules. Toyota's move wasn't just bold, it was disruptive, calculated, and deeply personal. As the world watched the chaos unfold, one thing became clear. This isn't just competition, it's war. And in this high-voltage showdown, the question isn't who builds the best car, it's who survives the storm that's coming, the rise of electric vehicles. Once upon a time, the roar of gasoline engines ruled the roads, painting the skies with smoke and filling the cities with noise. But a quiet revolution was humming beneath the surface, one powered not by pistons and petrol, but by pure, silent electricity. Today, that revolution has erupted into full force. Electric vehicles, once dismissed as science fiction or niche experiments, have become the beating heart of a transportation transformation unlike anything the world has seen before. This isn't just about cars. It's about trains that glide across cities without a single drop of fuel. It's about ferries that cut through waves on whisper-quiet motors. It's about futuristic aircraft, silent subways, delivery drones, and yes, even rockets, all tapping into the raw, clean force of electric energy. If it moves and it plugs in, it's part of a new global era, the electric age. But this story didn't begin yesterday. The roots of EVs stretch all the way back to the 1800s, an age when cobblestone streets met crackling wires and steam gave way to sparks. Believe it or not, early electric vehicles were smoother, quieter, and more comfortable than the primitive gas-powered cars of their time. They didn't belch smoke. They didn't need hand cranks. They felt like magic. And yet, the magic faded. Crippled by weak batteries and limited range, early EVs couldn't keep up with the roaring gasoline beasts that came to dominate the 20th century. Still, the idea of electric motion never died. It simply went underground. Hidden in subway tunnels, zipping along monorail lines, and buzzing inside city trams, electric transport never stopped evolving. And then, as the new millennium dawned, the world changed. Climate chaos, rising fuel prices, choking urban air. Suddenly, the old way of driving no longer made sense. A spark was lit, and the electric dream was reborn. By the late 2000s, a new wave of innovation hit the roads. Hybrids arrived first, tiptoeing between electricity and gas. Then, like thunder, came the real game changers, fully electric cars built not for novelty but for everyday life. Sleek, fast, efficient, and most of all, reliable. Batteries became smarter, motors stronger, and charging stations spread like wildfire. Governments began offering perks. The people began to switch. And with every passing mile, the age of gasoline began to fade. At the forefront of this electric uprising stood a name destined to become legend: Elon Musk. With Tesla, he didn't just build cars, he built a movement. He turned doubters into believers and made EVs cool, fast, and futuristic. Tesla didn't follow the rules, it rewrote them. From the Roadster to the Model 3, Tesla didn't just sell vehicles. It sparked a revolution that forced the entire auto industry to wake up or fall behind. But the EV story doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just begun. Around the globe, legacy automakers and ambitious startups alike are racing into the electric frontier. New players are rising, old giants are evolving. The battle for dominance is on. And the road ahead is electric, unpredictable, and absolutely thrilling. So buckle up. The quietest machines on Earth are making the loudest impact in history. And this ride? It's just getting started. Tesla, the spark that set the world on fire. It didn't begin with a bang. There were no parades, no headlines, no lightning bolts from the sky. Just a name, borrowed from a long-forgotten genius, and an idea that sounded impossible. Build an electric car that people actually wanted, not just wanted, but craved, not as a compromise, but as a revolution. And yet, out of that quiet spark, Tesla was born. Long before the world knew him as the architect of Mars-bound rockets and chaotic Twitter storms, Elon Musk entered the Tesla story not as its creator, but as its amplifier. When he joined the tiny company in 2004, Tesla was barely more than a whisper. But with his obsession for the extraordinary and a mind that refused to hear the word impossible, Musk ignited the fuse that would reshape the auto industry forever. Then came the Roadster, sleek, electric, defiant. It didn't just turn heads, it turned minds. Suddenly, the phrase electric car didn't mean slow, boring, or impractical. It meant speed, it meant future, it meant danger for the status quo. Tesla wasn't building vehicles, it was building a movement. Model S, Model X, Model 3, Model Y, each one a bullet through the heart of conventional car making, each one more ambitious than the last. Suddenly, oil barons and legacy automakers were watching their empires tremble as a Silicon Valley outsider redefined what it meant to move. Wall Street couldn't look away. By the time the world blinked, Tesla had rocketed past every old-world giant, becoming the most valuable car company on Earth. And when its valuation cracked the trillion-dollar ceiling, Tesla wasn't just in the auto business anymore, it was in the future business. But lightning doesn't strike without thunder. Behind the glowing screens and soaring stock charts, a storm brewed. Whistleblowers, lawsuits, manufacturing chaos, recalls. A culture praised by fans and feared by employees. Allegations of silence, suppression, and scandal shadowed the company's glowing press. And at the center of it all, Elon Musk himself. Visionary, villain, rebel, mastermind. Depending on who you ask, he's either saving the world or torching it on the way out. From promises of self-driving miracles to delays that never seemed to end, Musk's words became gospel to some and red flags to others. His tweets shook markets. His politics stirred rage. And when he picked sides on the global stage, he didn't just provoke criticism. He triggered movements aimed at tearing him and Tesla down. Yet despite the fire, Tesla burns brighter, because Tesla is not just a company, it's a phenomenon, a contradiction. A storm of contradictions, loved and loathed, worshipped and watched. It's the dream of clean energy wrapped in a machine that moves like a bullet and thinks like a computer. It's the rebellion on four wheels that dares to ask, why follow the rules when you can rewrite them? But nothing disrupts forever without disruption of its own. As the calendar turned to 2025, the wind shifted. New players emerged. Competitors that had been sleeping giants were now wide awake, armed with tech, cash, and revenge. And Tesla? It began to feel pressure in places it once dominated. From pricing wars to production delays, from political backlash to unexpected competition, the battlefield was changing and fast. The spark is flickering. Has Tesla finally hit the wall? Once, it felt like nothing could touch Tesla. It wasn't just a car company. It was a revolution on wheels. It inspired believers, not just buyers. From Wall Street to Main Street, people saw it as the blueprint of the future. Fast, clean, electric, unstoppable. But what happens when the storm catches up to the lightning? As 2025 unfolds, Tesla is facing something it hasn't in a very long time. Doubt. Not just from critics or competitors, but from the very people who once believed it could change the world. And that doubt is growing louder. For years, Tesla raced ahead, powered by wild innovation and wilder ambition. The headlines were electric, the promises were massive, and the future always seemed one product launch away. But now, the future is asking for receipts, the cold truth. Tesla's empire is showing cracks, and it's happening fast. The numbers rolling in are sobering. In the first quarter of 2025, Tesla delivered 336,681 vehicles. Sounds solid until you realize it's a sharp 13% plunge from the same period last year. Worse still, it fell nearly 40,000 units short of Wall Street's already cautious expectations. This wasn't just a bad quarter, it was the biggest quarterly collapse in Tesla's delivery history, and the market is reacting. The company's stock has crumbled by over 40% since the start of the year. Once the crown jewel of the electric revolution, Tesla's valuation is being gutted, piece by piece, week by week. 11 out of the last 13 weeks have ended in red. Panic is no longer at the edge, it's now in the driver's seat. But the crisis runs deeper than just missed targets or slumping charts. All eyes are on Elon Musk, once hailed as a visionary, now increasingly seen as a distraction. His off-the-cuff political rants, controversial tweets, and questionable priorities have started to cast long shadows over the brand. What once made him a symbol of fearless innovation now risks turning Tesla into a cautionary tale. Investors are whispering the once unthinkable, has Musk lost the plot? Behind the curtain, Tesla seems to be losing its grip on the narrative. Robotaxis, full self-driving breakthroughs, Mars-bound dreams, they still light up headlines, but they don't drive revenue. Customers are growing skeptical. Rivals are no longer behind. They're beside, or in some cases, ahead. And that loyalty Tesla once commanded like a religion? It's starting to feel tested. Because at the end of the day, excitement fades. And when it does, the only thing left is performance. That's why all eyes are locked on April 22nd, the date of Tesla's next earnings report. This isn't just another financial update. It's Judgment Day. Investors, analysts, and the entire auto industry will be watching closely to see, is Tesla still the force it claimed to be, or just a fading echo of what once was? Because just as Tesla begins to stumble, another giant has entered the ring, Toyota. And they didn't come quietly. They came with a machine so powerful, so efficient, and so radically priced, it's already being called the Tesla killer. The electric vehicle revolution just took an unexpected turn, and it didn't come from Silicon Valley or a futuristic startup. It came from a name we've known for decades. Quietly, confidently, and with the precision of a master strategist, Toyota has stepped into the EV spotlight with a creation that may very well shift the balance of power in the industry. Its name is the BZ3X. At first glance, it may seem like just another SUV trying to elbow its way into a crowded market, but that illusion fades fast. Because the BZ3X isn't here to play catch-up. It's here to redefine what an electric vehicle should be. Unlike the many luxury-focused EVs that have flooded the market in recent years, wrapped in sleek marketing campaigns and sky-high price tags, Toyota took a radically different route. Instead of chasing prestige, they aimed straight for the people. With a launch price of just $15,150, the BZ3X doesn't just undercut the competition, it annihilates expectations. In a world where affordability and clean energy rarely go hand in hand, Toyota has bridged the gap with startling confidence. This isn't just a car, it's a bold move toward democratizing electric driving, tearing down the financial barriers that have made EV ownership feel like an elite club. Co-engineered with China's GAC and launched directly into the heart of the world's largest EV market, the BZ3X is more than a collaboration. It's a fusion of East and West engineering, of Toyota's legendary durability and GAC's emerging dominance in electric technology. This partnership didn't result in a budget vehicle that cuts corners. It gave birth to a fully capable electric SUV that punches far above its weight class. Visually, it exudes sophistication, fluid lines, futuristic edges, and a confident stance that makes it hard to believe it's one of the most affordable EVs on the road today. Its aesthetic suggests a price tag twice what it actually costs, and that's before you even step inside. Inside, the BZ3X greets you with a cabin that's stripped of clutter and packed with forward-thinking tech. A minimalist digital dashboard, intuitive controls, intelligent safety systems, and smart infotainment options elevate the driving experience far beyond expectations. This isn't an entry-level electric SUV that screams compromise. It's a cleverly crafted environment designed to offer comfort, efficiency, and seamless interaction between human and machine. Every touchpoint inside the BZ3X reminds you that Toyota didn't just build this car to fill a gap in the market. They built it to dominate a future that's already arrived. But perhaps the most disruptive aspect of the BZ3X is what it represents. For too long, electric vehicles have been positioned as luxury items, symbols of status, tech vanity projects for the wealthy, or aspirational objects out of reach for the average family. Toyota just shattered that illusion. With this launch, they've turned the page on the EV narrative. No more are electric cars reserved for those who can drop $50,000 or more. No more waiting for technology to trickle down. The BZ3X delivers it now at a price point that feels not just competitive, but revolutionary. And the ripple effects are already beginning. Industry watchers can feel it. This is no minor release. This is a spark that could ignite a wildfire of change across the auto sector. While Tesla continues to chase headlines with futuristic promises and distant innovations, Toyota has quietly leapfrogged the noise and delivered something tangible, immediate, and most importantly, accessible. This vehicle isn't a vision of tomorrow, it's a solution for today. And that's what makes it truly dangerous to the existing power structures of the EV world. As roads across Asia begin to fill with these sleek, silent machines, the message is echoing louder with each mile. The future of electric driving doesn't belong to the privileged few anymore. It belongs to anyone who wants in. The BZ3X doesn't demand compromise. It offers liberation. It hands the keys to a cleaner, smarter, and more affordable era, and it does so without arrogance or overpromise. Toyota has played the long game. They watched the EV craze erupt, saw competitors rush to stake their claim, and waited for the right moment to strike. Now, with the BZ3X, they haven't just joined the race, they've redrawn the course. What comes next for Tesla and others remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the EV war just entered a new chapter, and Toyota is holding the pen. Buckle up, the roads ahead are changing fast, and they're beginning to sound a lot quieter. When the road becomes yours, the new era of driving begins with the BZ3X. The world didn't change with a roar. It changed with a whisper, a silent glide down the street, a hum so soft it could have been a breeze. That was the BZ3X's quiet entrance into the lives of thousands, not as a car, but as a companion that understood something no other vehicle had before. That driving isn't just about distance, it's about freedom. Take Aisha, for instance. Her life is a whirlwind of school drop-offs, office deadlines, quick grocery stops, and stolen moments of peace in traffic. Her BZ3X didn't just keep up, it synced to her rhythm. With a solid 430 kilometers of range, she forgot what range anxiety even felt like. No more obsessing over charges, no more planning her life around outlets. She simply drove, and the BZ3X followed, quiet, steady, and loyal. Now picture Ray, an architect by trade, a wanderer by heart. His days were never predictable. One morning he was inspecting a site in the city, and by sunset he was halfway to the coast with no destination, just instinct. His 520-kilometer range BZ3X never once held him back. It offered the power of the unexpected, the permission to go where the moment took him. For him, the car wasn't about range, it was about possibility. And then came Nana Kemi, retired, not tired, the kind of soul who maps her dreams with highways. For decades she had watched others take trips she only imagined. But now, with her 610-kilometer range BZ3X, she was the one sending postcards from mountaintops and video calling her grandkids from desert roads. Her journey had finally begun, and it was silent, smooth, and electric. Under the hood, no drama, just brilliance. The BZ3X is powered by a lithium iron phosphate LFP battery that rewrites everything you thought you knew about EVs. It doesn't rely on rare, controversial materials. No cobalt, no nickel, no gilt. Just safety, stability, and sustainability in a chemical symphony that puts ethics and engineering on the same team. This isn't just about saving fuel, it's about saving the future. And then there's the charging story, a twist nobody saw coming. Imagine this. You're tired, running low, you pull up to a fast charger expecting the usual wait. But before your coffee even cools, your BZ3X is back at 80% in just 24 minutes. That's not just fast, it's seamless. It's life continuing without pause. It's your car asking for less time and giving back more freedom. For Kofi, that meant power naps became power charges. For Neka, it meant charging while catching the sunset on the rooftop of a local cafe. And for Olu, it meant quick prayers on the roadside before rolling off again with energy to spare. The BZ3X didn't interrupt life, it folded into it, gently, perfectly, quietly. The roads we travel are different. Some of us race, some of us wander, some of us simply try to survive the chaos of everyday life. And yet, one machine found a way to belong to all of us. Not because it was the loudest, not because it was the fastest, but because it listened. It listened to the unspoken needs, the quiet wishes for something better, cleaner, simpler. It answered with grace, with power, and with a presence that didn't shout, but stayed. This isn't the future. It's now, and it's electric. The BZ3X isn't a product, it's a turning point, a car that isn't here to chase records, but to rewrite the rules about who gets to drive the future and how far they can go. The BZ3X, not just a drive, a portal to the future. It doesn't purr, it doesn't roar, it whispers. When I first opened the door of the BZ3X, something shifted. The world outside didn't just fall away, it paused. Time slowed. The chaos, the noise, the rush of everyday life, gone. Inside this machine, silence had a sound, stillness had a pulse. And everything I thought I knew about cars began to dissolve. You don't sit in the BZ3X, you merge with it. The dashboard is more spacecraft than automobile, dominated by a hovering 14.6-inch digital interface that doesn't just respond to your commands. It senses your intent. Swipe left and your entire journey rearranges. Speak softly, and the system leans in to listen. Lights dim, temperatures shift, routes reroute. It's not reacting, it's communing. Beneath your fingertips, the surfaces breathe with quality, leather that feels grown, not manufactured. Brushed metals that shimmer like stardust under the wide, cinematic glow of the panoramic glass roof. Day or night, it turns every moment into a postcard. Inside the BZ3X, you're not surrounded by materials, you're surrounded by mood. And then, sound. Pure, high-definition, emotion-tuned sound. 11 speakers, orchestrated by Yamaha's obsessive craftsmanship, don't just play your music. They wrap it around you like an atmosphere. It's not a playlist anymore, it's a pulse. But what sets the BZ3X apart isn't what it gives your hands, your eyes, or your ears. It's what it gives your mind. Because this isn't a smart car. This is an aware car. Powered by the cutting-edge Momenta 5.0 intelligent drive system, it's more than autonomous. It's anticipatory. The streets don't surprise it. The environment doesn't overwhelm it. With a brain powered by AI and eyes powered by LiDAR and a full 360-degree field of sensory precision, the BZ3X doesn't wait for you to act. It guides, silently, smoothly, safely. It doesn't warn, it protects, doesn't guess, it knows. Cyclist darting ahead, already accounted for. A sudden lane swerve from another driver, already adjusted. It's not reacting, it's preparing. Like a guardian spirit draped in steel. You feel it when you corner. You feel it when you cruise. You feel it when the world outside goes blurry and the cabin remains still, serene and effortless, like you're gliding through a dream. And while the rest of the world races to catch up, the BZ3X has already moved on. This isn't luxury, it's evolution. This isn't performance, it's poetry in motion. This isn't transportation, this is transformation. The BZ3X doesn't just take you forward. It brings the future to you and makes you fall in love with every second of the ride. They say some cars are built to move, but the BZ3X, it's built to move you before the wheels even turn. There's a kind of beauty that doesn't follow trends. It creates them. And the BZ3X is the embodiment of that rare elegance. From the moment it emerges through the city haze or glides into a golden sunset, it announces itself, not with noise or flamboyance, but with quiet certainty. This is not a car you look at, it's a car you experience through instinct. Its form is lean, muscular, yet graceful. Every curve is intentional, every surface sculpted. It doesn't chase attention, it owns it. Its design feels like poetry written in steel. The BZ3X flows like it was born from the wind, every inch engineered not just for motion, but emotion. It's not trying to be aggressive. It doesn't need to posture. It knows exactly what it is, a masterstroke of simplicity meeting sophistication. It has presence, not pretense. Like a perfectly tailored suit or a work of art that doesn't ask to be admired, it simply is. But true expression isn't just about shape. It's about color. And this machine doesn't come dressed in ordinary shades. The palette feels more like mood than pigment, crafted for identities, not just eyes. There's a version of the BZ3X that burns in a deep obsidian black, sleek and endlessly cool, like the night sky just before a storm. There's a brilliant metallic gold, not tacky or loud but regal, made for those who move through the world like they own their destiny, a radiant crimson that pulses with charisma. And even soft pastel-inspired tones that whisper luxury in a world obsessed with shouting. These aren't just finishes, they're characters, they're reflections of your energy. What makes it even more powerful is the way it stands, low, commanding, refined. Parked or in motion, it holds a certain gravity, the kind that turns heads not with flash but with silence. It's that kind of quiet beauty that draws you in slowly, until you realize you're completely captivated. You don't just want to drive it. You want to be seen in it. You want to arrive in it, not because of what it says about status, but because of what it says about taste. The BZ3X doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't compete. It doesn't conform. It simply exists in a class of its own, timeless, elegant, and boldly futuristic. A vehicle that proves the most powerful statement is one made in style. A new icon is born, not for everyone, but for those who know the difference between style and spectacle. The interior. Comfort meets craftsmanship. Step inside, and you don't just enter a vehicle, you enter a moment. A space suspended between today and tomorrow. The BZ3X doesn't welcome you like most cars do. It envelops you. There's no flash, no gimmicks, no over-the-top theatrics, just the quiet confidence of something meticulously crafted for those who expect more than metal and leather from their machines. The air inside hums with intelligence. Every surface feels intentional. Every curve seems designed to align not just with your body, but with your mood. The cabin is poetry in motion. Spacious, yes, but more importantly, human. Everything is where it should be, without ever feeling forced. The gentle caress of ambient lighting traces along the dashboard like twilight seeping into a calm room. The seats don't just support, they understand. With each mile, they whisper comfort, not fatigue. And the textures? They're not for show, they're for sensation. Real, tactile, and soft to the touch, as if nature itself conspired with modernity to shape this interior. But the BZ3X isn't just a cocoon of calm. Beneath the serenity lies unshakable strength. It moves like it was born on the road, not built in a factory. Every push of the pedal feels like a conversation between will and machine, silent but deeply understood. It doesn't surge forward, it glides. It doesn't just corner, it dances. And when it brakes, it feels less like stopping and more like pausing in confidence. There's intelligence here, yes, but not the kind that shouts from screens. This is subtle genius. The BZ3X reads traffic the way a composer reads music. Every gesture, every motion, every sudden shift, anticipated before it happens. It doesn't react. It predicts. Thanks to its deeply integrated AI system and 360-degree awareness, this SUV feels less like a driver-assist platform and more like a second brain, one that never blinks, never tires, and never gets it wrong. But its true power lies not in the mechanics or tech. It's in how it becomes yours. The BZ3X doesn't demand you adapt. It listens, it learns, it shapes itself around your life. Whether you're weaving through city lights, embarking on a weekend escape, or simply drifting through a quiet night drive, the BZ3X becomes a part of the journey, seamlessly, beautifully, invisibly. And while this experience transforms every ride into something extraordinary, something seismic is happening far beyond the cabin. In the electric battleground of China, the largest EV market in the world, Toyota has shattered expectations with this very machine. Once seen as cautious, almost hesitant in the EV race, Toyota has now thrown down a gauntlet no one saw coming. A premium, fully electric SUV launched at a price that undercuts its fiercest rivals, and does it without cutting corners. Within minutes of its unveiling, over 10,000 orders flooded in. The servers buckled, social media lit up. The message was clear. China is watching, and Toyota is no longer just participating, it's dominating. While local players have been racing to the bottom with price wars, Toyota has done something different. It's offered elegance at a price that feels impossible, and intelligence that feels effortless. The BZ3X is no longer just a car, it's a turning point, a symbol of how the future of mobility can still be led by those who understand that true innovation isn't loud, it's lasting. It's not in how many buttons you have, but in how few you need. It's not in flashy tech, but in how seamlessly that tech disappears into your life. This isn't just Toyota's moment, it's the moment we realize the future isn't arriving, it's already here, and it's called the BZ3X. It's not just a battery, it's a power play that could rewrite the future of EVs. When Toyota set its sights on the heart of the Chinese EV market, it didn't arrive with fireworks. it came armed with something far more explosive. A strategy rooted in precision, disruption, and one unshakable belief that the future doesn't belong to the loudest voice, but to the smartest move. That move, LFP batteries. And this wasn't just a choice, it was a declaration of intent. Forget what you know about high-end lithium-ion cells. Toyota didn't want another overpriced tech showcase. It wanted a revolution anyone could drive. By embracing lithium iron phosphate, it shattered the age-old equation of power equals price. Sure, these batteries may offer a slightly shorter range, but they're incredibly safe, long-lasting, and significantly more affordable. They're not here to impress engineers, they're here to empower millions. And the results? Electrifying. The BZ3X, Toyota's sleek new contender, enters the market with a price that undercuts expectations and rattles rivals. In a country where EV competition is blood sport, this SUV doesn't just survive, it dominates. With LFP at its core, the BZ3X is no longer just a car. It's a weapon in a price war that's reshaping the global automotive landscape. But Toyota isn't stopping at components. It's reshaping the battlefield itself. Recently, Toyota dropped a bombshell. A fully owned production facility is rising in the heart of Shanghai. This isn't just another plant. It's a bold new front in the EV war. Inside its walls, cutting-edge Lexus EVs and next-generation battery systems will be born. But the real power move, Toyota is handing the design keys to its Chinese teams. No top-down control, no foreign oversight, just deep local insight and total creative freedom. For decades, international car makers tiptoed around Chinese tastes. Toyota, however, is diving headfirst into the culture, the streets, and the dreams of the Chinese driver. It's not just building cars for China, it's building with China. Chief Financial Officer Yoichi Miyazaki didn't mince words. Our goal is to become a company that is more loved and supported by the people of China. That's not corporate fluff. That's a promise forged in steel and charged with electricity. And the people, they're already responding. Within just 60 minutes of the BZ3X's launch, over 10,000 orders flooded in, a tidal wave so massive it crashed Toyota's servers. Not even the company was prepared for that kind of love. But the message is loud and clear. The world wants a smarter EV, not just a faster one, a car that listens, adapts, and delivers without breaking the bank. So while others chase headlines, Toyota is chasing hearts. While Tesla tweets, Toyota builds. And while the race once seemed one-sided, the tides are turning. Is this the moment Tesla begins to lose its grip? Only time will tell. But one thing's certain, Toyota isn't just entering the arena, it's lighting it up. So what do you think? Could this be the storm that topples the EV throne? Let us know in the comments. And if you're as shocked as we are by this electrifying twist in the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay plugged in for more.